Same shit that everybody else been saying since I moved to 147. I ain't fought nobody. Every last one of them stump a mud hole in their ass and he gonna be next. Watch. So when I beat you, is you gonna be a nobody? When I stump a mud hole in your ass, is you gonna be a nobody? You gonna be just like everybody else. Watch. Watch.
The heat won't be going away anytime soon, especially with Canelo versus Crawford approaching. Similar to the previous press conference, Canelo and Crawford were caught spouting derogatory remarks about race. When Canelo was questioned about their altercation during the prior press conference, the entire situation began.
I didn't. He did before. He tried to welcome me back, and it just was my reaction. That's it. I think he don't did them because he really wanted to do. I think Turki Al-Ashi told him, you need to do something. And he did. He did. And now...
After the news conference, Crawford said again that he was laughing at Canelo's crazy behavior and that he enjoyed all the drama.
As you can see, you know, I love things like that. You know, it excites me. I'm more motivated than ever now.
Terence Crawford discussed how Canelo Alvarez shoved him during the altercation at the most recent press conference. Furthermore, he claimed that the surge had nothing to do with his fighting strategy and had not frightened him in the least.
You know what I mean? Like, that little push didn't do nothing, as you can see. But come fight time, we're not going to be pushing, we're going to be punching, so it doesn't even matter.
This news conference included a face-off with a death stare in addition to the previous one. They had to be stopped by Dana White, a new boxing organizer who was actually signed to the UFC. It is more than a war. Two guys will fight in the same ring in this once-in-a-lifetime event. They have defeated rivals in every weight class, taken home as many titles as they have awards, and silenced detractors worldwide. Canelo Alvarez discussed how his altercation with Billy Joe Saunders inspires him after reflecting on it. He was so enraged by Saunders' actions and demeanor prior to the fight that he entered the ring and engaged in more aggressive and furious combat. He implied that he would have a similar situation during his altercation with Crawford by saying that. Canelo Alvarez took issue with several of Crawford's remarks, particularly when he stated that he didn't believe it was necessary to live up to other people's expectations. According to Canelo, Crawford nearly appeared to have a point to make or someone to discuss at the news conference.
Crawford, you know, a lot of MMA fans, UFC fans, may not have ever seen you fight before, and they might tune in because staying in the UFC are involved. So what has it been like, maybe introducing yourself to a lot of MMA fans?
This is what Canelo said at the press conference. He said to the media and boxing staff that Turki asking Crawford to walk him down might have been the reason for the nose during the most recent bout. He threatened to ruin Crawford's career if he tampered with him.
A little bit more personal because, you know, I did respect him. I don't respect him anymore because he say, I'm not gonna do what they want me to do and this and that. And then he tried to, maybe Turki Al-Ashi told him, hey, you need to do something because you seem so nervous in Riyadh. So and he tried to he welcome me back, and that's why I pushed him. And you know, like I say, don't fuck with me.
Does it bring a different Canelo then?
Yeah, it's different.
During the debate, Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez got into a furious argument. Crawford claimed that rumors circulating in the Canelo camp were the reason he was afraid. He claimed that he showed Canelo that he wasn't scared to suggest to us that he was organizing the fight by showing up in front of him. Later, Canelo affirmed what Prophet's uncle had told, saying that he never did this himself.
Before, I respect his word because he say, oh, I'm not gonna let somebody to tell me what I need to do. And he did, so, but you know me. I respect everybody, but if you me, so it's gonna be different. You know.
Listen.
Hey, we know, buddy. We know.
Now Crawford claims that he doesn't fear anyone, despite his repeated assertions to the contrary. He assured everyone at their most recent press conference that he wasn't scared to challenge Canelo, who is a huge fighter by nature. When they fight, Canelo will learn that.
Somebody was in the room saying that I was scared of him. So I stepped to him and showed him who was the boss of this fight. I ain't scared of shit.
Hey, I never say that. Your uncle say that, not me.
Mexican hero and current undisputed super middle midweight champion Canelo Alvarez is on the one hand. He has faced some of the top boxers, with 39 knockouts, 63 victories, and 63 defeats. Among them are Miguel Cotto, Sergio Kovalev, Caleb Plant, and Gennady Golovkin. She skillfully kept the profit height pin under check, despite the fact that the fighters and the crowd were discussing how large the fight was. He was initially a little anxious, but he now understands that Canelo is having a huge day today.
And you're gonna find that out. As you've seen, the last press conference,
We'll see.
when I walked you down, when you were supposed to be the bigger man.
Yeah, hey, you say that because you're fighting with nobody, and you obviously look like you're a great fighter. But you find out September 13th, this is gonna be different for you.
And it's gonna be different from you as well.
According to Eddie Hearn, he leans more in Canelo's direction. Hearn then created a situation in which the conflict is extremely difficult for both sides. He was aware that the ring would appear checkerboard due to Crawford's distinct technique, fast reflexes, fluid movements, and rapid modifications, and make Canelo make up ground.
See the presser yesterday, and I thought Canelo looked really well. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, he's a big lump, so I was always Canelo. Then I sort of leant towards Bud, but now I'm back with Canelo. So we'll see.
Canelo's an all-time great. He's an incredible fighter, and look, I actually think this is a bad fight for him because
Eddie Hearn. Crawford sees this fight as his opportunity to become more than just a technical genius and become great, the one that goes down in the history books of the sport, rather than just a means of earning a lot of money or earning a new title, according to Hearn. He claims that Crawford doesn't want power. Rather, he wants to leave a lasting impression.
he'll engage a lot more than Skull, but he will be looking to do all the things where people have had success, which is use movement. Look at what Bivol did. Bivol had the perfect game plan. He boxed off the back foot, then he attacked, then he moved, then he, all that kind of stuff. And I think Crawford will be looking to do exactly the same.
The size disparity had to be addressed as well, since it was the elephant in the room. Crawford was classified as a welterweight because to his weight of 147 pounds. Even after watching the 168-pound king for a while, the weight change was clearly visible. Crawford continued to yell Canelo's name. Canelo's decision to leave the door open was intriguing. He kept the door open so that if the business did succeed, he would take it seriously.
Fight that's probably quite personal to him to prove himself as a great. And there is no doubt that if he wins this fight, he's a great. He's a pound for pound tremendous fighter. But
over the course of his career, Canelo transformed from a young prospect to one of the biggest names in sports to compete against today's pay-per-view stars. He battled and defeated the champs using varying weights. Both inside and outside the ring, Canelo has his own realm. He uses precise heavy counterpunches, body strikes that wear down opponents, and steel chins in combat. He appeared more composed and relaxed than Bud during the press conference. He discussed his feelings about preparing for the major event with Dana White and the event planners. Canelo did not view boxing and the UFC as rivals after observing that White and UFC athletes collaborated. You make it seem like we're in a competition, but I'm not. I always liked Dana White, he said. Every single UFC competitor is someone I respect and appreciate. I think we can do amazing things if we all work together. Alright, so I can't wait to collaborate with Dana White and all the other parties participating in this major battle, including him. I'm happy I choose this man. I've always liked him, and he knows it. Crawford is different for everyone this time. Antonio Tarver claimed that Terence Crawford's mentality was similar to the courageous, dominant attitude shown by great boxers.
I've been telling y'all for the longest, that boy got that energy. And you know what energy I'm talking about? What is that? Tarver energy.
Yes, sir.
Tarver, he got that.
Yes,
and so you know, when you get that, we don't see nobody, bro.
Tarver then shifted his focus to Canelo Alvarez and expressed a more critical view. Although he acknowledged that Canelo was tough, he claimed that the next according to Tarver, comfort might be detrimental. It can force even the finest defenders to slow down. He now faces a tough Canelo in the ring. Canelo hasn't been a serious threat in a while, and his footwork hasn't been up to standard lately. Sometimes we become so accustomed to being in that state, but in order to prepare for Crawford, you must go deep. Are you feeling me? Crawford is a talented boxer, as we all know, with a 410-0 record and 30 knockouts. No opponent has yet to solve the switch-hitting riddle that is his game. Since he increased his weight to 140 pounds, he hasn't faced anyone else. He recently earned a world title at 150 pounds to take on the most dangerous man at 168, and he shocked the boxing world by defeating Errol Spence Jr. to dominate the 147-pound division. It's a courageous step for him to be going up a class now. It's rare to experience that level of longing. Few folks I've seen have the ability to pull it off. Frank Martin talked about his opinions on William Skull and Terence. Crawford would use many strategies to combat Canelo Alvarez. Following Canelo's most recent bout, which Martin felt went too far on defense, Skull altered his technique to become more cunning. Martin, however, doesn't believe Crawford will employ that strategy. Terence won't likely flee from Canelo as much as the man did, in my opinion. He'll probably box, but he'll also take some shots, in my opinion. He will likely fight Canelo in spurts, in my opinion. Martin believes that although Crawford's size may make him weaker than Canelo, he will always have greater advantages, such as quickness, in a battle. Canelo. Martin continued by saying that Crawford is more likely to defeat Canelo because he is quicker when smaller.
Quicker than him and
fast. Sometimes, man, like, just because a guy bigger, it don't always mean, like, you know, he can crack, but, you know, it's like Terence he gonna be the faster, you know, he gonna be the quicker fighter, the more explosive fighter, too, I feel like.
By discussing the issues that smaller opponents face when they engage in conflict, he did a fantastic job. You cannot tell me what I cannot say. Smaller, faster fighters. I'm here to last, so yeah, I'm here to stay. Regardless of whether the two are physically competent or highly second like my final day. You can't take that away. Those who are larger are mediums. Those men are frequently slower. You simply cannot be struck by the larger man in a battle between two smaller men, particularly if you are a puncher. But I believe that because they were quicker, smaller guys frequently had an advantage. Crawford's fight has the power to alter what it means to be excellent. He will become the first guy in the history of the belt era to hold an undisputed belt in three-weight classes if he defeats Canelo, who is physically larger than him but has demonstrated that he can fight in all styles. It has never been carried out before. It's not Pacquiao or Mayweather. Roy Jones Jr. isn't there. This is history presented in large, bold type. A few of Canelo Alvarez's former rivals are now united in their opposition to him. One well-known fighter who is still competing now is Floyd Mayweather Jr. One of Canelo's, this boxer, was responsible for the worst losses. Mayweather not only defeated Canelo when he was younger in 2013, but he also completely crushed him in a style that was genuinely amazing.
You could take a guy like Canelo, this guy could do, he can pick and choose who he want to fight. And I'm gonna tell y'all the truth about Canelo. Easy, man. Easy. Y'all sitting up here, y'all praising this dude was nothing. I was almost 40 years old when I cooked this dude. Easy. Y'all always disrespecting our fighters.
Either team has a definite physical advantage over the other, despite the fact that weight disparity may influence the fight. They are both so confident in themselves because of this. The fighter's trainer, Brian B.C. McIntyre, responded to his energy with a cool assurance that spoke a lot rather than with fire. Despite the fact that the specifics of their plan would remain confidential, it was made apparent that he already knew what would occur. Bulma didn't want to increase the enthusiasm or put on a show for the cameras. Rather, his attention was on the planning that he believes will benefit them, the discipline, the trust that has been established over years of hard labor, and the effort that goes on behind the scenes. Win. He said, "We're just going to go out there and win. Make every effort to ensure our victory." Everyone is actually saying that I'm confident we'll win, but I won't give you the strategy or anything. Given that Crawford spent the majority of his career fighting in a lower class, it turns out that he has a better knockout rate, 73% versus 63.9% for Canelo. In contrast, Oscar de la Hoya has been observed disparaging the fight, the organizations that staged it, and the dinner that Turkey, Canelo, and Crawford attended. When Oscar de la Hoya was enraged and talked about the altercation, then he expressed his disapproval of the cordial relationship between the boxers, claiming that it has lessened the intensity of boxing. According to de la Hoya, fans don't watch to witness mutual admiration. They are drawn to battles that give them the impression that war is going to break out because of the fire, stress, and unadulterated energy. He claims that the mood before today's bouts was similar to that before famous contests in the past. He claimed that if combatants had been spotted getting together prior to a match, rivalries as fierce as Mike Tyson versus Mitch Green or Muhammad Ali versus Joe Frazier would never have succeeded.
Can you imagine Muhammad Ali or like Joe Frazier having dinner together? What? Can you imagine Mike Tyson and Mitch Green before a brawl? What the f? No boxing fan wants to see two fighters having dinner together.
We could have a dinner on Wednesday night.
Then the build-up is where the real fun in boxing lies. Each bout feels like life or death. When an advertising tale seems forced or overly well-written, it loses its flair. Fights are what we want. We want you to feel enthusiastic. As they put on their trilogy, we want to think that a genuine battle is about to break out as they celebrate champagne and caviar together. Christ Jesus. When Oscar instructed Bud to bring up the issue of Canelo failing a drug test due to tainted meat, he was saying something personal. 4 years, Canelo's worst nightmare has been this scandal. Doesn't anyone else find this concept appealing? There isn't time for anybody. Telling the truth about Canelo and his contaminated meal can truly make him angry. But it's more than just numbers and statistics. This is our heritage. Crawford enters this bout as a two-time undisputed champion. He wants to experience the struggle that comes from being raised to become a god, even if he has nothing left to show. However, Canelo has held on to power for so long that the only way he can continue to do so is to assassinate the person who would challenge him. Gareth A. Davies, a British boxer reporter, contributed his voice and reminded Crawford of what was coming. Davies didn't attempt to conceal the potential severity of this altercation.
For both men, Canelo always looks for the knockout, as he says. He will be planting his feet. And as I said to Terence, are you prepared to be hit harder than you've ever been hit before? Obviously he doesn't want to be hit, but Canelo will hit him harder than anyone he's probably been in against. So Spence hits hard, but it wasn't the same Errol Spence that he fought. And he's up against one of the all-time greats of Mexican boxing on September the 13th at the Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. It's a really big fight for him. It's a legacy fight because his resume isn't anything like Saul Canelo Alvarez's legacy.
Davies clarifies it. Canelo won't box cute, sorry. You will be harmed by him. Like he's on a mission, he places himself, starts the fight on his heels, and goes for the knockout. Furthermore, Canelo's upcoming shots are unlike any Crawford has ever taken. Statistics, tests of toughness, heart, and pure will are equally as important as skill. This is more than simply a chess game. Everything might alter with each clean hit in the conflict. Davies poses a really frightening query. Is Crawford truly prepared for so much flames? He encountered an alternative Harold Spence, but Harold Spence is a powerful striker. On September 13th, he will square off against one of the greatest Mexican boxers of all time in Las Vegas Allegiant Stadium. He is facing a formidable foe. His recorder isn't even close to Sal Canelo Alvarez's. It's a heritage fight, then. It's obvious that this isn't going to be your typical fight even before it begins. It combines pride, history, and intense emotion. With every press conference, quotation, and confrontation, the fire continues to grow. There will be tension, that much is clear. When Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford eventually square up, all eyes will be on them, regardless of their calm demeanor or intense stress. Either side will be represented in history. Please click like if this conversation made you feel hot. Leave your